Yes, yes, yes. Good that you're watching to a very special stream where we're joined by. What is your title right now? It's still Associate Game Director, Post Launch Director. What can we call you, Simon?
My official title is still Associate Game Director because it's less trouble for everyone to change titles. So it's fine.
Okay.
It's a good title. Rolls
It's
off the tongue.
yeah. But I remember other people because, like, for people who don't know, you are making the final calls on the post launch, basically, or what's
I, well, yeah. Some people might take umbrage if I say, yeah, I take all the calls. It's a collaborative effort, but I'm in charge of the creative part of it. So, but then we have technical part of it, and then we have the purse, the almighty purse, as well, that has a say in anything we do. So,
Makes sense, makes sense, makes sense. But yeah, first of all, and I also saw I asked people in the Discord to submit questions. I already saw some people in the chat. Thanks everyone for joining, of course, for this very special stream. And yeah, I think I'm talking for everyone from the community who's enjoying Shadows. Thank you and the team for putting all the effort in and giving us almost monthly updates. Like your guys are you're consistent, which is nice. So thanks for that.
we've been trying hard. It's more like I know some updates take like 30 minutes, an hour to get through some of the content, but it's weeks and months. Yeah, so
Yeah,
glad people appreciate anything we do.
yeah, 100%. I saw many like Discord messages as well. Like, say to Simon that we appreciate the content and are of course enjoying it. So real quick, you say you're planning ahead. Like, what does the planning look like? And also maybe before an Assassin's Creed launch, we of course always know now with these RPGs, starting with Origins, that we get to expect some post-launch content. When does the planning kind of start for that, and how far ahead are you right now?
Well, okay. Let me start with a very broad disclaimer. I am not an executive at Ubisoft. I am a mid-level employee. I am a creative game developer. So anything I say has to be taken with a grain of salt. I don't wear a tie. I don't do numbers. So please don't take stuff that I might say because I talk a lot and put it out of context. So they let me talk still. All right, with that out of the way, I will say it changed quite a bit from one RPG to the other. I think there's always learning from one that can be applied to the other, whether it's that really went well or that cost way too much for what we got in return. So it's always different. I think with Shadows we had a big jump in generations. So the engine work that we had to do on Shadows took a lot of time and a lot of our resources. So the planning for the post launch was not really clear as soon as it would have been on another where the technology is more stable and well known. So we started fairly late on Shadows to see to have a more approach because I remember we had pre-launch we had the good old what do we call that, battle pass? No, is that what we call them? The
Projects.
season pass. The
Oh,
season
the season
pass.
pass. Oh wow,
The
yeah,
good
yeah, yeah.
old
You go back
season
there.
pass.
Yeah,
And those were the situations changed when we pushed back on the release date. That plan changed quite a bit, and then we had to kind of adapt to the situation. So because of the new tech, because of the new generation, because of the pushes we had in production, we chose an approach that was way more okay. Let's put our ear to the ground once the game launch and try to hear what people say and try to react to the feedback as soon as we can, which is still, there's a delay between what we hear and when we can release something. But the goal for this post launch was to be reactive to the max that we could, while also every now and then adding content that people didn't really ask for, but we thought had value. As example, the camera presets for horse. Like no one asked for that, but we thought, hey, what would be cool is to see more of Japan landscape when you are running on your horse. So how about we push for that? So it's one of the few examples. But the strategy was community first approach, listen, ask questions, and then react and try to cater to what we can adjust.
yeah, and I think that we've totally been seeing that even for like little things, like some things that around the launch, like the sell all feature, that was of course really nice to finally have that, and like with the parkour, I think is an even better example because people want some of the features that they had in the older games now also apply to the fastest assassin with Naue, of course. And we, of course, know that the landscape of Japan and the structures are not similar to a more urban setting, but seeing all the ledge grab now back and stuff like that is very, very cool. One thing about that I quickly want to jump on, I know you've been, yeah, maybe inside Ubisoft. We, of course, did a sort of feedback session earlier. You've been trying to get the manual jump. We, of course, had the Mirage update last week, and the manual jump is, yeah, it's amazing, as you likely know.
It's great, right? It's
Yeah,
great.
yeah, it really changed the game up a lot. It's really great that is back. So, how is that? We know there's not going to be another parkour update like we had before, but are you still trying to get that manual jump in, or obviously with the controls being different, Shadows being way more complex game than Mirage?
So yeah, our challenge is on the control scheme of things, where we have some technical things in the background that are very different than Mirage, but hope is not lost. You
Hmm.
might still see the almighty manual jump in Shadows eventually. Uh, yeah, it's really cool. I really like what Bordeaux team with Mirage and Shadow of Memory, and it's great. If anything, it puts pressure on us to follow in their tracks and not disappoint. So, yeah,
Yeah,
still
but
working.
yeah, but because to give some extra context, that is what you guys are figuring out, right? The controls and how to map the button. Because already right now, if you pick the manual jump in Mirage, it's like, yo, want to switch control schemes, and yeah, we're suddenly, of course, doing parkour up with R2 again, which is awesome. But yeah, I had to relearn some things. I now have my tool window on the parry button, which is not ideal, but it means that I can parkour like I used to. So, well, what are the challenges right now?
It's mostly that. So the control scheme, I think we know how what we want to do with it. So the control mapping, we don't want to rework the entire control of Shadows because of all the fight mechanics that we have embedded on it. So it makes trickier for us, at least, the addition of a manual jump. So we cannot implement it the same way Mirage did or does. I would say the biggest challenge is to make it work with the complex geometry of Japan, because we have so many
Mm.
little bits and pieces sticking out of things that you can now easily target to, but that's not what you want. You want to do specific things with a manual jump, and you don't want the character to just jump to the nearest thing. It has to be calibrated with center most of the camera or the angle of the stick, or the different things for different people. So it's a million little knobs that we're tweaking
Mm.
and seeing how we can make it work. But don't lose hope. You might very well see a manual jump edition in Shadows.
Okay, that is awesome. I'm not losing hope. Thanks for the super chat, by the way. There, yeah, of course. Yeah, bring back my goat, Cassandra is being shouted here. I do have a question about that, but I do want to like kind of save it for the end of the stream because I know
Spoilers.
not everyone has played all the new content that of course launched yesterday. So I wanna, yeah, for those people who still have to experience some of those things, we can like do a quick like spoiler warning at the end, and then maybe talk about that because that
Very
is,
well.
yeah, it is pretty awesome. And thanks for the super chat there. Yeah, you mentioned the season pass already, and that is of course what we're kind of holding on to because that's another big difference versus the other RPGs. Going into Valhalla, into Odyssey, in Origins, we knew, okay, we have the first DLC, after that the second DLC. Even for Valhalla, we had the line in the post-launch trailer continuing with teasing a year two of content, and right now you already said that there would be at least one more roadmap video, so that is exciting. We're getting at least some new stuff in 2026, but yeah, like you say, okay, the planning, and I would imagine that at one point a second DLC was planned if you were talking about pre-orders and a gold edition and all that sort of stuff. Can you say if that's still happening, a second DLC, so on the same level as an Awaji?
Yeah. Well, so we live in a murky world these days. So, with the caveat that anything can happen in the future, because as Mirage just proved, and as the crossover stories from Odyssey to Valhalla also proved before it, things could come up in the future. But as of now, at this moment, for year two, there is no expansion on the size of Awaji that is planned currently. So We're still working on content for post-launch and supporting it, but it's not a full-on DLC the way a season pass would have had in the previous years. And whether or not this is the right way to go or a good learning, I think it's more of an experience we're trying with Shadows, is to keep it things small and reactive and see how the community feels about it and react to it. And the learnings that come out of that will be applied to whatever other projects we do next, certainly. So,
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I do think that is disappointing for some people because, yeah, obviously with a paid DLC, yeah, it has some sort of different expectations. But are you now kind of saying that there, like, if we look at the overall, of course, like maybe budget is not the right word, but the effort you guys are putting in for the post launch and around the resources you're using, instead of going for a second DLC, we're now seeing that instead us like drip feed it into free updates, or are we still seeing some things like that?
I think we're trying to readjust for year two a little bit. So there's learning from year one that we can apply to year two. Any content that we want to do in year two is probably going to be more sparse. So not a drip feed, like you said, but more like chunkier updates that are more, that shake things up a little more. So I'm not announcing anything at this point, but the strategy for the year one was to be quick and reactive. So it means smaller drops often. For year two, okay, we got a handle of, we don't need to put fires out or anything. So it's more about, okay, what good chunky little piece of meat, sorry for any vegans out there, we can drop and have people come back to it and enjoy it. So not to the size of a DLC or an expansion, but to, something like yesterday's update plus, something at minimum this size.
I think maybe I'm not sure if you played it, but the Forgotten Saga in Valhalla, the sort of roguelite mode they did, it kind of sounds
Yes.
a bit like that, or is that maybe a bit too big?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Okay, but that is interesting. So yeah, basically to recap, you're saying, okay, I mean we're still in year one, so you would say that the first the first 3 months of 2026 will still be similar to this, or will we already see that that longer update cycle with more substantial updates starting in the next year?
We're already starting gearing up for the next year. So it's like to us, I know we shipped in March, but like year one sort of comes out to a close this Christmas or this holiday seasons for planning reasons. And then we're taking the next year, like we're changing gears, so to speak. So that's the way we approach it behind the scenes, at least.
Okay, that is very interesting. And was this the final update of the year? Because there are still some things on the year one roadmap with the finishers and the new Animus themed rewards. So a new project.
That is not the final update of the year.
Ooh,
there is
okay.
one more before we're done with 2025.
Nice. So that's December 22nd, if my or 23rd. So that would be the day after the Attack on Titan content ends. Probably.
I think you'll have info much sooner than that, at least.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I
And
can
yeah,
say
the finishers has been like of course we it's always interesting to see, okay, one of the community most requested features gets added, the next one goes up, and then you only see, oh, now
Yes.
people want all the finishers. So that has of course been really cool with the bow staff, seeing that weapon added. And I remember playing that for the first time. I was like, whoa, there are like 5-6 finishers for this weapon, and they're all very cool. So yeah, you guys are talking about new finishers. It was, thought you guys had to. You should talk about it during the video. I think that would have been very exciting. But you put it in the image at the end. But yeah, can you tell me more about it? The new finishers.
Okay, what can I say? It's always tricky. They're coming. They're coming before the year is out, but you'll have more details within days from now. So next time you see my face, but not live, you'll know more.
Okay, awesome. So yeah, so every weapon gets a new finisher.
Yeah, well, maybe. We'll see. And that's
Almost,
not.
almost.
There's more stuff coming as well. It's like finishers is one thing, but then we have a few surprise for the holidays. So
Yeah, yeah. New
stay tuned with
legacy
that.
outfit.
You're, yeah, you're good. You're good.
Would
You
be
sure you're
would be
not a
nice.
journalist?
I mean, I was. No, but and a new project. So the Animus Teams rewards, is that linked to the project that you guys already?
Correct.
Okay, cool. So
It's
that's
going to be
the
a new project coming.
for Nawe then, because we already had the white armor for Yasuke.
Correct.
Awesome, awesome. And a lot of people were asking, and I think maybe you kind of answered that already with the year 2 plan, which is very interesting. But are they planning to release projects at a faster pace? That was going into seeing the Animus Hub for the first time and seeing, okay, it will take me a month or so to finish a project. Then we will immediately, like, that's what we're used to with this sort of battle pass style system, that when the other ends, the next one is already, of course, that did not happen. So would you say that this is the final project, or can we expect more of these in the future?
Well, it's certainly the final project of this year. I can say that for sure. I would say from our end of things, because I know you're on the cusp of finishing everything as fast as anyone, as I've seen your video about the Isu door yesterday. But it's from what we see, a lot of players are not as fast as you go. So for us, there's a balance we need to strike between the fastest players out there and the slowest, but somewhere in between. So we're calibrating how fast we release these things so that not to overwhelm some of our returning players. That could be just like you can never gain any, like you can never make progress fast enough. You get flooded with more to do. So it's a delicate balance. I know it's not the sexiest answer, but it's something that we're trying to adjust as we go. And yes, the fastest players always, you can never satisfy the fastest players out there ever. I don't think any game or MMO or anything has ever achieved that. So it's hard to keep pace with them. So we're trying to find the balance. I'm repeating the same things over and over, but it's a timing issue.
I mean,
right?
I think it's good, and that's why it's also really awesome that you come on this show to kind of explain the behind the scenes, because we can of course guess, but to hear it from you as well is always very, very nice, to put things into perspective. But yeah, you would say that there are new projects next year.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's I have one in mind in particular that I think everyone's gonna like. So the future is colorful.
Wow. Okay. People are. I hope people figure that one out.
Don't read too much into this.
Okay. It's not like the big collaboration. It's not a tease like that.
No, it's pretty much anything we do in the project is still very internal to the Animus workings or the Assassin's Creed brand as a whole. So project stuff is not collab stuff generally. We're looking within our own ranks for stuff from the projects.
Awesome. And would you say that you're happy with how the Animus Hub feature has been since launch and how it is now?
I think so. I think we see again, it's all about learnings, because it was pretty bare bone when it came out, and now we're fleshing it out with the projects and with now your preferred activity, the corrupted castles. We can talk about that, Joe, if you want.
We will in a second.
But then the idea is that we can add a lot to it still in post-launch and for future games as well. So it's something that normally the plan is for this to carry over and keep going and growing once Shadow no longer have updates. So the hub is something that's going to move forward in the franchise. And it's fun to be able to put the few first bricks on it and see what sticks, what doesn't work, and then we can adjust, and other projects can add to it as well, and it can grow a little more organically over time with the rest of the calendar of the franchise as a whole.
Yeah, I think that was always the promise. I think right now, what I was at the reveal as well when we went into the theater room at Quebec and saw the presentation for the Animus Hub, and I think right now it still is just I don't feel it's very much there yet, and I really hope that, as you say right now, it improves over the years, because right now it feels like the Valhalla Reda system in a fancy menu. And I hope that I'm not sure how much you can talk about this, but like for example, will our keys work in the next game? Like, so, is that what we should be thinking about, or?
Ooh, I don't even know what I'm allowed to say. Actually, I've never had
Hmm.
a discussion about this. So in doubt, I will not say anything. But yeah, I can't say anything.
No, no, I get it. But I think the idea is awesome, and I really hope. And to be fair, we also have to wait for the new games to come out because Shadows is still the first game to have it, and yeah, we will wait for future titles to also incorporate it. So I hope the ambitious like sort of thing that was kind of showcased to us will come to fruition eventually. Um, so I think another thing, yeah, let's talk about because I think also you talking about year two and having more substantial updates but less frequently. Can we then also expect more replayable things? Because I think a lot of the things that people that like these RPG games, for example, loved about Odyssey is that there were always these mercenaries to fight. You would always be able to test your build or do things with the gear you were collecting or had this more focused gear grind. Um, and yeah, a cool thing to do that as well. And that's why I think the Forgotten Saga in Valhalla was really cool. Yeah, you said it as well. Some updates, you play them, and it's a story mission, 30 minutes, and okay, see you next month. And I do know that a lot of people that are also watching right now would not mind to have something cool to do every so often, or like, okay, I'm gonna, yeah, get this reward that will take me, I don't know, a few tries, or this boss that I can defeat, and maybe it has some like new challenges. Are there like replayable things, yeah, happening? And of course, the corrupted castles was one thing. Yeah, I know you watch the videos. My point was mostly that I felt that there was like a specific reward missing for that activity because if you do New Game Plus, you can already get a lot of gold, can already rank up, and yeah, because the game is kind of still missing that RPG or like that build crafting that an Odyssey had. Purple gear at the end of the castle was not that exciting. So yeah, basically the two one part. Let's focus on the replayable things first. Of course, you did the corrupted castles. Can we expect more of that?
That's the goal. That's part of what we are aiming to do for year two is to add replayability and really focus on the million of RPG little levers that we have already in Shadows. So beyond saying that, this is something we are looking at as part of the what year two should look like. And yeah, I hear you. I can't divulge more, but replayability is a key factor of what we plan or what we're looking at the moment.
And did you have a chance to check the animus sequences from Mirage? I saw some people they love those features too. Like, is that
Yes.
something we can expect? Because I think there are a lot of boss fights or there is a lot of content in these RPG games in particular that you play once. While I do think bringing those back and having I don't know like a challenge or two bosses at the same time. I mean the arena during the during the weekly missions that we do already has a taste of that. Oh, we're suddenly fighting a guardian and a random enemy that we never would encounter in the open world together, which is exciting. But I do think you could take that to a new level.
Yeah. Specifically for the resequencing of DNA the way we did in the old school games. I think this is something that is technically very difficult to do post launch for Shadows in particular. It's such a big game. It has so many ramifications to it. Add New Game Plus on top of that and keep track of what you have and what you don't have and how it plays. So uh, it's very hard for us to achieve this. I don't think we can for Shadows. But that said, reusing parts of bosses and stuff and remixing them and adding twists to them is certainly something we're looking at.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I think there's a lot that can be done there. Um, Now, of course, what we have been seeing is that, okay, we're getting a new weapon type as part of the Claws of Awaji. That's, of course, a big drop. Really cool that even if you never or did not buy the DLC, you could still get the bow staff and all the skills, which was a nice surprise. But now that you say there's no paid DLC, because I do think I see people, I do think it's still like we're still getting big update drops in year 2 and they will be free. It will just not be the traditional model. But does that then also mean that we will not see new weapon types or things that like move the story more forward as you would expect in those types of DLCs?
Not necessarily. I think you can. There's room for all of this. I think the okay, one fun fact I can say about Awaji specifically, because it's an end-game story extension, and so you need to have finished the main game of Shadows. When Awaji came out, we saw a real uptick in the number of players who completed the main game of Shadows. They went from halfway through all the way to the end so that they could play Awaji. So that's super interesting to us. It bumps up the completion rate, and that's fantastic. It makes people want to play Awaji. But then the question is, should we repeat that for any more story drops that we do? So you need to finish the game and finish Awaji and then keep going. So it's things that we're wrestling with and thinking about so that we want to make it more, as accessible as we can within limits of keeping any new story bits relevant, so that it's not just it's not canon or it happened in a bubble. That's the things that are tricky with story updates, but it's something we're still looking at. So I wouldn't take anything off the table at this moment for weapons or story or replayability, activity, and stuff like that. So we're looking at all of it. Then it's a matter of which one can we and should we do out of all the cool ideas we have.
So like dual swords for Yasuke, that's...
Can I talk about that for a moment?
Yeah, of course, because I've seen like a lot of bosses use them, and I'm like, yeah, please.
Okay. So one thing I've learned is that anything I say will piss off half of the population of the Earth and make the other half happy. So okay. Historically speaking, in the real world, there was one samurai above all others who invented, ostensibly, allegedly, who invented the style of two swords. His name is Miyamoto Musashi. He's from Vagamon, the old manga series. So he's a very important character and one of my childhood heroes. And so I made a pact with a lot of important people at the beginning of Shadows of saying, because we're set 40 years before he ever does anything of interest in Shadows, we should not allow our main protagonist to be able to dual wield katanas and wakizashi. I don't know if it's a dogma I just need to get over, and it's cool, so let's do it. But it's a thing that I think has some meaning to the period, because it was a bit of a revolution when that happened in the beginning of the Edo period back in the day, and that's why in Ghost of Yotei, for example, it's fine that Atsu can do it because it's after, and even then they have a good Takezo the Undying. He's a good Musashi wink. So anyway, that's my rant about it. It's a tricky thing. If we have to do a new weapon for Yasuke, I might want to do a something else than dual swords.
Okay.
Just for that reason.
Yeah. Okay. So, but the bosses having them, it doesn't mean that it will be easier to implement because you already have those moves, or is that like a wrong?
No, it's the character has our main characters have so many moves that they can do compared to enemies. It's not really the same. Maybe there's some reuse that could be done there, but it's not a straightforward port, if I can use that word.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That is for sure interesting, and of course,
Japanese lore.
Yeah, for sure. And another cool thing that we saw, of course, is Yasuke learning, to stealthily take down an enemy, and Naoe doing the war kick, which is way more fun than I anticipated. So
right.
Especially having it as like a passive ability as well. So that's really cool. But I've seen a lot of people say, oh, I want Nawe can use a bow. Well, why cannot Yasuke use the Kusarigama or something? Like, are there like maybe can they learn from each other in terms of weapons as well? Is that something you guys are looking at?
They could. They certainly could. I think, like, okay, I'm not saying anything. This is not a reveal. I'm not breaking news here. So, but what if Yasuke learned the bow staff and then has his own complete different style with it that is not as flippy and as speedy as Naue? That could be, to me, an interesting way to give Yasuke a new weapon. And what if Naue does have a short bow at some point? Exactly. That could extend her stealth range of abilities. It's all little. These little things are all in the air right now, and we're picking at it and see how can we best which part do we choose to do, and then how do we package it in something that's compelling and has story to it, has character development to it, has more value for various profiles of player. I know your crowd is mostly RPG based, but we do have a vocal, I would say, majority of story players as well that we have to contend with and cater to.
Yeah,
So
yeah, of course.
it's all these little bits that are fun to play with for me mentally, but it's hard to just when we decide that okay, this is what we're doing. There's a lot of stuff that's let on the cutting room floor of cool ideas that could have been.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's the reality
But
of the business.
it's not true that I would say okay, yeah, you already have the bow staff for obviously. Yeah, I think that's a cool idea, by the way, having giving the bow staff to Yasuke and but yeah, but you of course don't share gear between them. I would be like, okay, but they already have those staff, so Yasuke can then use them too. But that's not even a thing in the game. Like, yeah, using items on both characters. But
That's why I said don't take this for money. It's
yeah,
an
yeah,
example,
no,
but
exactly. But it's I like basically, and correct me if I'm wrong. You're saying okay, we just want to do something cool, and if it's like it doesn't mean that we will take some shortcuts or something that will maybe make it a bit easier to implement the weapon. If we're gonna add a new weapon or whatever, it's gonna be a cool way to do it.
I think that's what we're going for. It's like, okay, but is it cool? And then if it's easy to do, like I'll give you an example, but the Naoe's running drop kick that she does passively, it was tricky to do because it bypasses the ability. But is it cool? Yes, it's very
Oh
cool.
yeah.
Let's do it. So, the rule of cool, man, we're trying to obey it
Mm.
as much as we can.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, then let's yeah touch on the corrupted castles because I do think they look cool, at least. No, I'm kidding. No, but no, but I was excited. My expectations were basically a bit different, and then seeing the Animus themed rewards in the post launch mention, I was like, oh, that's linked, and we because that's what we have grown accustomed to when. Valhalla added the river raids. Okay, you're going on a raid to Paris now, and the shop has new items, and you do the activity, get a currency, you use it, you get the item. So you have to engage with the activity, get exclusive rewards. To then not see that in the corrupted castles was a bit of a disappointment. So I'm kind of curious why you guys went with that. Is there still a way for you to maybe go in and add some cool rewards to I mean, you guys have now added the trophy. It's at least something like an achievement or trophy to do them, and obviously they're linked to the, yeah, to the weekly missions now, and they give a lot of data fragments. So I do think that there is an incentive to do them, but I do think that you can also easily skip them. And in Valhalla, you could not. Oh, you want that cool new Fallen Hero armor set? Yeah, you have to go do these Tombs of the Fallen. It's yeah, it was a bit more bigger incentive basically.
I hear you. I think the framing of how we went for a corrupted castle might like you designed a whole nice, cool, epic feature in your mind when I presented it. I feel it, so it's on me on this. It's like okay, I should have put caveats on it. So the initial goal for the current iteration of corrupted castle, I almost said the working name for it now. It was to respawn the die shows, which creates for way more interesting stealth runs if you want to redo a castle. We have a quite a big part of a community that likes to do videos of stealth runs, And once you take the die shows out of there, it's not as interesting. It's not as challenging either. So that was the main goal, was to start. Okay, let's find a way to get those characters back into a castle once you have cleared it. But then from here, I think there's plenty of room to grow with it and go elsewhere and do more with it. Because the distinction is, this is animus based, so it's not historical. It's not. Now Niaske did not canonically do this 20 times over. So we can actually go a little more crazy with it if we want to. And it's something we are currently looking at.
Awesome, awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing that. Then I already saw the corrupted castle mention in this update, and I was like, oh, okay. It's they're just tweaking some things and making it more streamlined. But let's see what we get in the future then. So okay, that is awesome. Because I mean, and that's, I think, one of the most challenging parts about your job. Like having you have your resources, I can imagine, and then putting that towards the thing that make everyone happy, and that's hard. So yeah, then making the corrupted castles for, people would just want an ability to replay the castles and have the die show, but then the RPG people are like, but grinding, I want to enhance my gear and use that on any good stuff, and the die show, I still insta kill them. Well, what's going on? So I can imagine toying with that, but yeah, still, I know a lot of people, like I also saw that in the Discord. I was proud. I was not the only one. I was like, when I asked about damage numbers during the reveal of Assassin's Creed Shadows, people were like in my video, were like, what the heck, dude? Why are you asking that? But I do think now, after launch, that we are seeing, hey, it would have been nice. It would be nice to, okay, this is a 50% chance that you do a crit. I want to know when that, I know there might be like a visual cue or an impact or whatever. But yeah, let's talk a bit about those types of features, because I know a lot of people are interested in that. So yeah, damage numbers. You said you were looking into that, I think, many months ago.
Yeah, a year or two
wow.
ago, actually. Okay, so first I got to ask you a question. It's like,
Sure.
so damage number. Why do you want them, like, specifically? Would you say it's because the crit, when it happens, needs to be very, very obvious, or do you have more subtle reasons?
You want to see the impact of, if you like, and that's what I think is very interesting about this game in particular, is that for me, as someone who really enjoyed the Odyssey side of things, and even Valhalla to a degree, although they really toned down the RPG elements, you saw in Valhalla they were already like, okay, we want to cater to more people, where Odyssey did not rub a lot of, like, a lot of people loved it. I don't think you really hear about those people, but there are people that were not a huge fan of, like, how deep it went into the RPG elements. So with Valhalla, we're toning it down a bit, and I was hoping that Quebec is doing another RPG. Let's do an Odyssey 2 style game, and then we come to Shadows, and we're not really seeing that. So while then now in the post-launch, we're getting a Forge with an enhanced feature, and you're asking us to upgrade. Like, it's taking a lot of time to get all the gold and all the resources, and you have all the hideout upgrades, and you have the percentage upgrades. You're adding all these items and perks and stuff. But if I want to know if I have, okay, I have like 4 or 5 items, and they all have some crit chance, I want to at least see on a stat page, okay, this is my crit chance. And I want to then go into the game and be like, okay, I now do, my crit is the highest crit that I saw while doing this run is 160 or something. And then I tweak this in my build, and now it's 180. So to see that, instead of having to calculate the health yourself, or being like, okay, now I need 2 hits or 1, and it's just a nice visual, like, that you're going up with all the progression that you guys are adding, that it actually, yeah, you very clearly see the impact. That's basically, I think, where I'm coming from.
I hear you. I have bad news for you then.
Okay.
Well, maybe not completely, but so post-launch, what we saw, and very clearly, and with all the data and the videos and the reviews and everything, one of the first thing we tried to scramble and do was to give options to turn off a bunch of glints in the weapons and health bars and, like, anything that is very RPG based for our own progression and the gear that you are using. we've been asked very loudly by many people to kind of, if I want to turn that off, I want to. And then so it's been very hard for us to go back onto this and say, but for those who want the damage number, can we actually do that without risking some of the, I want to say, the gains we made, the goodwill we made on this? But that being said, we are looking at making crit more obvious, and I wouldn't lose hope on the detailed stat page yet.
Awesome.
It's been put in the bin a couple times and dusted off and back onto the docket. So it has a. If we write the biography of Shadow's detailed stat page one day, it's going to be a 4,000 page book, but it's not
Okay.
dead yet. So
Okay. Yeah, it just feels like sometimes going like having like leaving some features that would be helpful in the next RPG behind in a Valhalla and Odyssey sometimes just feels kind of weird. And I would argue if you give those people the UI-less experience, give the people that want to go crazy the other side of the coin, I would say. But
yeah,
it's interesting to hear your
I will say there if it was so it's technically behind the scenes. It's not as easy as taking what happened in Odyssey and making it in
no,
Shadows
yeah,
because
sure.
the engine overhaul is major and none of the UI stuff is the same. So it's a big investment to make it work in Shadows, and it's always something that gets deprioritized in view of the overwhelming sentiment that we need to take things out of the screen rather than add them. But I take your point. I don't think you're wrong, and it's something that if we don't do to Shadows, it's certainly on high on my to-do list for whatever comes next.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. And like again, like maybe, okay, what type of player are you? RPG, blah, 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 and then you have your thing. And yeah, sometimes I don't think you have to take all the things that are being thrown online and with all the memes and stuff too seriously, because there are a lot
We
of
don't.
people, there are a lot of
We
people
don't.
that do want some things. But okay. And another thing I think that I really liked about the previous RPG games is the mythical content. Of course, you talked about it, said, okay, yeah, that's where the collaborations come in. And of course, we saw the Dead by Daylight, now the Attack on Titan. And yeah, things get crazy there. But yeah, we are, like, we were feasting good with the Origins, Curse of the Pharaohs, and the Fate of Atlantis, and Valhalla, Forgotten Saga. We even got like mythical content in the main game. And then we get the Shadows, and Japanese mythology is so awesome. And there was one thing for sure that was kind of a surprise in the base game, and then we see the collaborations. But to then hear you say last time, yeah, we kind of want to take a grounded approach. Yeah, was kind of I was kind of sad about that. But what is your take right now? What can you say about it?
I think Mythical always opens a bunch of doors that are fun for us to explore and create quests or bosses and gear and all of that stuff. So it's something that's really fun and do I dare say I'm going to use a word here. It's not the right word, but it's easy to go for that because it's very fantastic and high fantasy and stuff. The thing that Odyssey and Valhalla and Origins have over Shadows is that, and again, I don't want to offend anyone here. The mythical aspects of those games are in the zeitgeist of our current modern day seen as mythological stories. You can tell things. You can have Thor in the MCU and no one bats an eye. It's fine. No one is offended by Thor being in the MCU, so far as I know. Perhaps there is. Japan is a little trickier. The mythology of Japan is still something that is ongoing. It's still something that has deep cultural roots, and we're trying to be very careful not to rouse people, not to offend any religious idols and stuff. Like, yes, a fight with Akiman, the god of war, would be super cool to have with Yasuke. How do you get there though? And that's the thing we've been careful with Japan more than others. So I think the choice of setting sometimes has a direct influence on how much of the mythology you can actually pull out of it. Uh, you know, Cyclops in ancient Greece is cool, but it's cool because everyone sees it for what it is. It's entertainment and it's fine. when you start to trample over Shinto beliefs and stuff like that, this is way more tricky. And since it's
Mm.
not our own culture, we're, I think, deservedly so respectful of it. So if we do anything mythical, we have to find our own way to it and not necessarily use what's in the real Japanese myth, if that makes sense. So finding our way to make up our own myth, and then that comes with its own bag of trickeries. So
Mm.
that's the one of the big reasons why we're always kind of deliberately grounded, except when we go crazy with Dead by Daylight and Attack on Titan, where we go all out with
Yeah, yeah,
this
yeah.
because it's not typically Japanese. It's another brand that we get to play around with for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, if that is kind of the stance on the mythical content, and basically without the collaborations, it would have been kind of hard to do. Then I'm happy that those are there. Would you say there are more collaborations coming?
I have nothing to announce at
Okay.
the moment.
What is your reaction to some of the feedback that you've seen on the update from yesterday and the collaboration?
Well, there's always the how long do we think the door is going to take for anyone to open it with the puzzle, right? So we had internal bets ranging from 15 hours to one. Neither of these numbers were right, so that's a fun thing. Are we giving the spoiler warning
No,
bit
not
here?
yet.
Not
Almost,
yet.
almost. No.
Okay. I'm super proud of the work we did yesterday. There's a lot of it. I think when once people see all the breadth of the stuff that we left yesterday. We announced some things, but there's more underneath the hood for those who dare look for it. So I'm super happy with a lot of the reaction of the RPG community in particular. And I will say well, I've seen your video from the last thing I did last night is watch you open that door. So
Yeah, no, if I thought it was awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
And because I like to tease the future a little bit, and I know I can here. Some of the stuff we dropped yesterday for a puzzlement, so that excludes Attack on Titan, but we might be seeding some things that will come back later, that will resonate later, that will matter later in future drops. So we're not quite done
So
with
better
this.
open that door before, otherwise you have to do it when the new stuff drops. And then you're already behind. Okay, that is very interesting. Of course, one of the things we've also been seeing, and that's with the RPG games in particular, and I see some people talk about it in the chat as well. It's like the cutscenes, and I think you guys did a great job with the puzzlement quest, and yeah, I thought the interactions with Kane and Kinu were really fun. Um, so you of course already talked about I would take some things to whatever I'm doing next is like improvements to. I mean, yeah, we were coming off Mirage last week, and they, seemingly had more budget for motion capture scenes, and I would argue or I would imagine it's different for a post-launch for Shadows. But yeah, what is your take kind of on that?
It's a tricky question to answer. I think we do know that especially on post launch on Shadows, we're a small team. I think we're a much smaller team than most people realize. Certainly compared to the full bulk of a production for Assassin's Creed generally. And so we are limited in our resources. We have a lot of talented people working in the studio, but these people are working on a lot of new and exciting things for the future already. So we're here left to trying to pull miracles out of we're doing a Thanksgiving dinner with scraps sometimes. So sometimes it can show. I would really like to have the budget and the means to do a bunch of mocap scenes and all of that. It's very difficult to justify this within the context of the pipeline that we have set for Shadows. So, we got some flack on the main game as well for some of our scenes. Now, I will say we do have more than, I think, 2.5 hours of fully performance captured facial everything, like avatar level performance capture in the main game of Shadows, but it's spread apart. You have to do the flashbacks, and you have to. So there is a lot of it. We know how to do it. The question is, for the team and size that we have on post launch, it's hard for us to have the same firepower on that stuff. So that's why we're, you know, maybe the community thinks it's wrong. I don't think so, but we'd rather do cool things that are free and that are fun to play with and that add things here and there, and then spend some of that animation budget we have on things like Naoe's new dropkick or Yasuke's choke or some of those little things that need to hit in gameplay, like the parkour updates and stuff like that, that require animation to really, really work for the gameplay to flow better. And then, yes, sometimes cutscenes and story, it takes a little bit of the backseat on it, but on the whole, I would say I'm pretty proud of what we're doing with the, especially the puzzlement. I think comedy is very hard to do, and you tell me, but this one is. I saw you smile while
Yeah,
you were
no, it
playing
was fun. It
so.
was fun. I had fun, and especially the back and forth between the two. Also, when you have to wait till the next day, and then you come up to them, and they're like already discussing things, and then also, yeah, just that one being for Yasuke and the other for Naoe, and yeah, it really worked with the duel. I think it is a great quest. People should totally check it out in the game right now. So and then having like the whole Izu element, it feels like it's 2 in 1 or something. It's 2 missions in one, and then yeah, the new abilities are a really nice extra.
And I can give you a little behind the scenes on it, but initially the plan was to introduce skipping time of day. That feature that we added in post launch, it was supposed to be packaged with this quest. So that's why they are standing in the same area, and you have to come back the next day. And we were thinking, well, we'll just introduce this thing here and give you a good reason to try. But then the time of day feature was ready way faster than the quest, and we opted to say no, let's put it on the expedition train and give it to players faster.
Yes, best choice.
So that's an example of how adaptable we're trying to be on post-launch.
Yeah, exactly. That was really fun to see that when I was in Bordeaux, to see that be in the Claws of Awaji build we played, and I was like, wait, we can do that? That's awesome. But yeah, would have been. I think it would have not been as convenient to have to. Yeah, I mean, I'm also, we're a special case. Like, I'm thinking about my stream. It would have been a few hours longer if I had to wait each day. But I'm also just one person. In
I
that
do
regard.
say, sir, your own hideout is an offense to any feng shui master out there.
Oh my god, I know. Can you like can someone from the community just? I'm gonna give you my game, my cloud save. Can just
come to Joe's house.
Go crazy. 10 minutes. Make a cool hideout. Then I never. Yeah, I should probably put some time into that. Okay. Next topic.
Your hideout's like your room. It represents who you are as a person. It's fine.
Okay. Wow. That's not a compliment at all. But you know what would be cool if I could like invite someone to my hideout, like some sort of co-op. Is that what your guys are looking at?
I cannot comment on co-op.
Okay, I know people would be very interested in that, and I'm always like, I don't think we will play now in Yasuke, but we will see. We will see. I hope that is a fun surprise for us in the future. I do have some rapid fire questions, and then
Sure.
We can like do the quick spoiler at the end for people who have not finished the Isu cave, and then yeah, I want to already kind of thank you, but we still have some quick fire, and if I also saw some super chats that I will insert there in the quick fire as well. So yeah, we can include those too. So thanks everyone, of course, for supporting. And yeah, it's hard to also read the comments and or like everything that's happening in the chat, but appreciate everyone doing or everyone being here. So yeah, one rapid fire question to start out with, like, will there be an option to turn off the visual effects for Helix items? I know people are really looking for that.
It's something we're looking into. I can't. It's not a yes. It's not a no. But it's on the list.
Okay. And yeah, we actually I really put this question in as well, and then of course before the stream we talked a bit. But will the statue from the Attack on Titan be earnable if we missed it? I'm asking for a friend here.
Yeah. Well. Okay. I know it's a rapid question.
Yeah. Okay. But we can.
Okay. I think you should do a poll on this, and the people here in this live stream can decide. We have a way, if we want to if you completed Attack on Titan, we can in our next update give you the reward as a quest reward. So anytime you boot the game on the next update, it would appear. Now, there's a debate. Is it you missed it, so tough luck? It's an exclusive thing. We're snobs. We don't want to give it to you. Jor, you just had to look around better. I know live stream is hard. Or do we give it? We could do both internally. I think it's interesting if we just throw it to the chat and see what happens.
Yeah, and for people who are not familiar, so yeah, if you do the new Attack on Titan mission, yeah, you basically follow this pretty linear path. I really thought it was like linear, and then at one point, yeah, I thought I could only go right. Turns out you can go left, you can jump down, do a leap of faith, and then go into this, yeah, sort of Titan crystal area where you see a huge statue, there's a chest, you can open the chest to get the statue. But if you, like me, immediately go right and not go down, you finish the mission, you are out of the cave basically, you cannot enter again and you cannot open the chest. So
I have more news for you. There are two different paths that you can take with two different. There's one of the banners and then there's the Titan statue on the other. So
I don't
the
think
cave
I have
is
any
bigger.
of those, so I missed them both. I'm not sure if that's special or anything, but yeah, I see people say miss one banner. Okay, so let's put the question in: should the Attack on Titan rewards be be awarded to everyone who finished the mission if they missed it? Should the Attack on Titan rewards be awarded? I'm gonna do it like this. Yeah. Yes. No. I mean, I already know what I'm gonna vote, but and by the way, this poll's gonna decide. No, I'm kidding. Whatever happens in this poll. I mean, my take was like, okay, let the people buy it. So they skipped it, but they then have to spend something or resources, and so then the people that got it and were smart to not go like the route that I took, they still do not have to spend resources, while people that well, we're this is it's are you seeing the results here?
I am not. I'm not checking the chat.
Okay. No, right now we're at 79% who says yes.
Okay. Well, I see the trend. Let's see how.
I think a lot of people miss the statue. That's probably what's happening here. Yeah, it's not repeatable. No, if you missed it, you were lazy. You were screwed. Yeah. Exploration should be rewarded. Yeah, that's probably where the notes are coming from. But
correct. That's the Elden Ring crowd. Generally.
Yeah, exactly. But the statue, like if it was a banner, I would not mind. But that statue is bigger than buildings. It's very awesome. And
cool.
The quest is also time limited. I do think that's another wrinkle to it. If you could always replay or do a new game plus run and then still do it, I mean you could right now in the window, but after December 22nd you of course cannot do that. We have a super chat here. Exploration should be rewarded. No. We will see. We will see.
Chat.
Okay, let's go continue with the rapid fire here. Will there be a setting to turn off the level scaling?
No.
Okay.
Rapid fire answer.
Yeah, that is certainly a rapid fire answer. I see quite some people, and these like very specific. There are some hoods in the game that have a mask. Like, can we just do the mask or just do the hood? So like, I would imagine that is less work than creating a whole new headgear, but yeah, people want a bit more options in that regard.
It might be tricky to do, but we can probably easily separate these. So you have a version with the mask and a version without the mask,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
a version with just the mask. But it should not be it's going to be hard to make it a customizable thing.
Just be a new gear drop.
Correct. I think that's the way if we want to do this. So if you want to drop in the chat which headgear in particular, I can take a look.
I hope I've seen like do the blue shinobi like before. There's that one.
Engagement, man. Engagement.
Very good, very good. You can come on more often if you want.
Like and subscribe.
Yes. Would the team ever consider bringing back add-ons like the Story Creator or the Animus Control Panel from Origins?
In the context of Shadows, it's very difficult to do. But who knows what other projects in the future could do. It's not. I don't think it's completely out of the picture, but for Shadows, it's. I think the ship has sailed on this one.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I thought the story creator in particular was, yeah, a lot of fun to create your own. I mean, people were mostly making combat encounters instead of missions, but that was a nice way to do that. Yeah, we also have seen some outfits like with Nawe with longer hair, and it's like one of the concept arts that's been going around. And we of course saw Nawe's mother like wear a really cool outfit. Are those NPC outfits anything we can look forward to?
It's not in the plans, but it's not out of scope, I would say. It's probably something we can take a look at. I will say the thing we can use hair for is the passage of time. So if we do something in the far future, not too far, not the mecha future that we had recently, but then perhaps one way to show that is hairstyle change. You know, Nawe with long hair would be an older Nawe in my book.
I mean, we already see that with the mask. She suddenly has like the gray hair, which kind of awesome. So yeah, we do see kind of that there are different hairstyles, but they're then linked to this cosmetic option. But yeah, people always like more ways, of course, to customize the character that they look at for sometimes hundreds of hours. So that is interesting. Let's see. Yeah, the other thing was basically with the spoiler warning. So let's give that for the people. Let's see if I did not miss anything. I'm gonna quickly look at the super chats here. It's still 81% says yes. So I'm looking forward to my statue at the end of this. Let's see. Oh.
Is my internet crapping out? What's
No,
going
no, no.
on?
It's sometimes I'm working on multiple screens, so then the Discord is blacking out. I mean, we already kind of went over a lot of these, so that's very nice. Basically, in regards to black box style missions, are people curious about?
Well, so it has black box has a different definition depending on who you're talking to, because there are black box mission in Shadows, and by the technical definition, Attack on Titan is a black box mission in terms of technicality, because it happens in a different world. It's a closed environment. You cannot escape out of it without pressing the menu and quitting to get out of it. It's not like you can just walk out of it. So, I would argue we do have them. The question, the spirit of the question is, can we have more involved syndicate style, I suppose, black box mission?
Yeah.
And it's something that I personally really like, and it's something I would love to take a crack at it. So there's hope for this.
Yeah, awesome. And we of course saw that most recently in Mirage. So they're definitely still happening. And I think even, I mean, Claws of Awaji had like one of the targets was kind of going around collecting clues. You could get those clues in multiple locations. So there was a bit of that there too. I, by the way, particularly love that stealth boss fight. I thought that was really
Nawaki.
awesome. Yeah, really awesome. So okay, then, the Xiao Jun legacy outfit. Rapid
Oh,
fire.
one of my favorite. If we do it, we have to do it canonically. We have to find a good reason for it to show up. It should not be something from the exchange. I'll just say that.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
It's my take on
Another
it.
door
That's
to
my-
open.
Yes.
Awesome. And talking about doors, if you have not finished the puzzlement quest yet, then come back later till the end of the stream, because we have to talk about the reveal there, and I want to kind of hear Simon talk about it, and if that tease that you kind of gave is maybe linked to this, because people love this character, obviously. So, spoiler warning. Okay, if you're still here, you had time to leave. We of course saw a statue of Cassandra, notes in the Izu vault. She was there. I'm not sure how she carried the whole legendary chest from Odyssey, but it was cool to see all the Easter eggs from the different RPG games in particular. And I mean, we saw a lot of prompts. To be able to pick some up and use them, I think is awesome. I was really missing some Isu items in this game, and I think they're such a big part of the previous RPGs. So I still need to toy around with the gear and the stats. And my favorite thing, obviously, is the. I mean, that was also the question I asked at the reveal of Assassin's Creed Shadows. Where is the Blade of Yumminess? Will that come back? So now to finally have it with the same perk that I think in Shadows is even more powerful. But
Yes.
yeah, so that is really cool, and having those items in the game, and yeah, it's a nice reward for taking the time to go through Japan, because I was once again reminded of the terrain in Japan is not ideal sometimes to navigate, but yeah, then to have these rewards is exciting. So what can you tell me about this? How did it came to be?
Well, so two things. We do have a lot of people that were asking for Isu content after the launch. Once they know that there is no Isu content in Shadows, why? And then, as part of our reactionary force on post launch, we were thinking, okay, yeah, we should find a way to put it in the world without it overshadowing everything else in Japan. Though, it's not part of the same way as Valhalla had it, where Odin is part of it and it's all very, very connected. So how do we do something that's from a little bit from outside of Japan or stands apart from it? And then we really want to see Cassandra in there. And yes, she's immortal at this point in time, and she could very well show up in Japan. So we kind of connected the dots together. We made up, without revealing what it is, we made up a story of when did she go to Japan? What did she do there? She did more, ostensibly, than just put stuff in a cave. And we have, Cassandra does not travel alone. She basically has a whole ship to her. So, she gets porters to carry the heavy stuff into the cave.
Nice.
We even have I won't say what it is, but we have a justification for why there is a Cassandra statue brought by Cassandra in a cave. And it's, we might reveal it at some point later, but it's, so we did our homework. We not just drop Cassandra there, and this is not the last Isu content there will be in Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Awesome. Because we need the drip as well with the outfit, or an outfit with the new weapons. I would imagine, but that's cool. Okay, yeah, more Isu stuff I think is always welcome. It's one of the many things that makes this franchise special. So, yeah, to not have it at launch for Shadows was kind of a disappointment, but now we're seeing it, so that's awesome. We do have Codex Seeker here with a super chat that I know, quite some people are curious about as well, and that is of course Cassandra, her mission to destroy the piece of Eden. So why would she suddenly leave them basically behind and not destroy them in Japan? And for anyone, we are happy that it's Naoe and Yasuke finding these items, but it could also fall in the wrong hands. So what was kind of the take there?
That's part of the story we have for what Cassandra did there. So the easy justification here is that she left those signs for the hidden ones to find, the people who could potentially find it. This is like a Templar force would have tried and bulldozed their way through the door rather than go on a sigil hunt. So that's a little bit of why she did this. And then yes, she destroys or nerf or completely, takes over Isu technology. But the weapons from Atlantis were something that we thought would be really cool for Naoe and Yasuke to have. And so here the rule of cool wins out a little. But in the spirit that she left this for hidden ones. And if you look exactly in Atlantis, the Naginata is red. Or is it blue? I don't remember exactly.
There are multiple colors.
Yeah,
I think the yellow one is
colors.
there too.
Okay, but so our thinking here, the golden one is like the Cassandra version of. Okay, I have I don't want to say purified it, but I have this thing is under control now. It will not take over you. It will not possess you.
Yeah.
So she's still on that mission, and that's still what she's doing. But here in Japan, we left a couple of cool things for Naoe and Yasuke to use.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'm super happy that you guys did that, because those items they always look very, very cool. And I was kind of missing. It's cool that Shadow's more grounded, but also coming from Valhalla, where I had the Excalibur that would explode enemies and stuff. I was kind of hoping that we would see that in Shadow. So to now finally have some Isu items to use is very exciting. So thanks, Simon, for coming on and giving us a lot of information and peeks behind the curtain, and yeah, for things that we can look forward to. So yeah, very happy. Is there anything else you want to share or tease or say to the people watching before we wrap this up?
Yeah, I think I represent a whole lot of people when I say this. So post-launch team is small, but Assassin's Creed Shadows dev team is big. And for all of us, I think I want to just extend a thank you for everyone who participates in this, who cares about this, who have opinion, good or bad, about this. Your engagement means a lot. We do this, or I will say, most of my team. We're not doing this for the money, man. We're doing this because we wanted to be game developers, and Assassin's Creed is a super cool brand to get to play with. So thank you for playing, and we will have a few more goodies before the holiday seasons. Stay tuned. Within the next 5-6 days, you should see some news about that. Thank you.
Santa Claus outfit for Yasuke. Let's go. No, I'm kidding. But that, yeah. Of course, you're. I mean, it's awesome that you are kind of the face of the post-launch team and showing up in all these videos. But obviously, there are way more people working tireless behind the scenes to give us a good reason to boot up the game every month. So yeah, like I said at the start as well, thanks to you and the team for for doing that, and for also being I feel more talking to the community more. And like you said, the ear on the ground approach, I think, has been working, and it's showing. And yeah, sometimes we were like, okay, would have been, or like, yeah, we don't really see the timeline, but we can now kind of know. And I mean, I'm talking about things here, and you have an answer. It's not a surprise to you that we are curious about these things. So that really shows that you care. I mean, that's good for us, because we are just playing the game. We're seeing the official announcements, but to get a sense of what's happening and how things are working is always very nice. Also to take, for me, for example, to explain things in videos in the future and be like, yeah, sure, but it's not as easy as we think, etc. So
well, I will say thanks to PR as well on our end. They let me do this. It's risky every time. I could say something that just destroys the whole thing. Who knows? So I'm careful, but that's why I said take everything I say with a big grain of salt. I'm a dev. I'm not an executive, so I don't have exclusive information about the inner workings of the machine. But I try to do as good a job with our team to provide fun things to play in Assassin's Creed Shadows. I love Japan. It's my favorite setting ever, and I'm hoping I can do it for way longer than just 2 years if I can. But
awesome.
That is not up to me.
No, but I think you're doing a great job representing the post-launch and the game. And so I will be following you, whether you want that or not. I'll be in the shadows, stalking your LinkedIn or whenever you update that. But no, but
I have a great. Have you seen my LinkedIn picture? It's great.
Oh no, I have not, but now I'm curious. So I'm sure you're getting a lot of notifications of people having checked that out now. But good luck with all the content you have planned. I mean, it's awesome that we still get an update this year. Look forward to the finisher information soon then, and some rewards and a new project. And then I'm really curious about the year 2 plan and what we will be playing then, because I think it's cool having like multiple big moments per year instead of like smaller moments. There's like a lot of stuff happening next year as well, so it makes sense.
Everything gets busier and busier. So.
Exactly. So thanks everyone for joining. Thanks for all the super chats as well. Thanks Brock for being the best moderator I can wish for. And
wait, where's the poll at? Where are we?
Oh yeah, it's 82% says yes. You should be. Oh wow, I misspelled awarded, but you should give those items to everyone.
Okay, the yes have it. It passes. The motion's accepted.
82%. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks everyone, and see you later.